Welcome to Dzign Moments Conversations, the podcast where we uncover what it really takes to build a brand people don't forget. I'm Michelle Peel, founder of Design Studio, and in each episode I sit down with inspiring business owners and founders to share the behind the scenes of their brand journey, the wins, the pivots, and the intentional moments that set them apart. Because in today's world, it's not just what you sell, it's how you make people feel. Let's dive in. Welcome everybody to another episode of Dzign Moments. And today we have got Rachel Barwell. Rachel Barwell is the founder of Master Dyslexia, and we have been working with Rachel for quite some time now. I looked it up. It's been since 23, November 23. My goodness me. And Rachel's been kind enough to come on today and have a chat about her journey with Design Studio, and realised that she actually said to me, I actually get what you do now. So perfect opportunity to have a design moment conversation and let Rachel tell everyone about her journey with Design Studio and talk a little bit about Master Dyslexia and its journey so far. So for everyone new here, Rachel, tell us about you and Master Dyslexia in your own words.
So my background has been in adult and youth education, and I got to a point in my career where I felt the mainstream methods that I've been working with weren't really supporting those learners who perhaps were neurodivergent in some way. They might have been dyslexic or had ADHD or real challenges with maths going on. And so I went and specialised and did specialised training with the Davis method in 2018 and became qualified as a Davis dyslexia facilitator in 2020. And my intention was really to be able to be working with people. But what I hadn't really worked out is how was I going to reach those people who most need that support, and often reach their parents or their grandparents who would be supporting them on that journey. And so I really didn't have a very coherent marketing strategy. I got a little bit of work through word of mouth, which we always appreciate. I had some Google ads running. I had a website, several iterations of websites. I've learned a lot about websites, what they can and can't do for you. And I had a Facebook page, which wasn't terribly active. And quite frankly, I also had a LinkedIn page, which I wasn't really using to any great advantage. So I had some of the core pieces, but I didn't have really a coherent strategy, and I didn't have a coherent brand across all of those pieces. And I think that was the point at which I was introduced to Michelle through a colleague here in New Zealand. She said, I think she could help you with your branding. And that's really where we started.
Yes, it was.
Creating my brand online and having it be coherent across all the different platforms and right through all the aspects of my business.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you think back to 2023, when, what your business felt like back then, did you have any idea where this journey was actually going to take you?
I really knew I had to do something different to what I had been doing, and we'd come through the pandemic. I literally started my business the first month of the pandemic, which this is an ironical statement. It was just a real challenging time to start a business, and especially without a strong business background. My background had been in education, not in marketing or small business. And so it was a challenging time. But by 2023, the excuses have run out, and I really had to choose, am I going to make this a real thing? And am I going to get myself out there in the community in a way that people find out about me and can come and work with me? Because that's really my commitment. I'm not here because I want to become famous or become an influencer or anything like that. I am in the marketing field because I want people to find out about this amazing work that I get the privilege to do every day with clients. And the only way to do that seems to be out there in the digital marketing space.
Yeah.
I have tried some other things, advertising in newspapers and things like that, but it hadn't had any sort of long-term benefit to do that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I mean, completely different.
get that visibility and
course.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what's changed the most for you since those early days,
Well,
to say?
we just get cut to the chase. I've gone from last year, as I had a very modest number of clients right up till last year. And then last year, a number of things happened and a number of things had failed as well. And so at the end of last year, I had 5 clients for the entire year, which is just not a sustainable business. And I had to really have an honest conversation with myself and go, are you in business or is this a hobby? It's costing you a lot of money. And so I had to really rethink what is important and where I'm going to put my effort. So this year, I've just finished working with my 19th client for the year.
Wow.
And
That's
so
amazing.
made nearly quadrupled the number of people that I've been able to work with and make a difference to them and their families. And that to me is the reward. Yes, it's been a lot of work and uncomfortable a lot of the time for me because I'm really not a social butterfly type person. I don't thrive by putting myself out there. But what I do thrive on is seeing the results with my clients and seeing the impact on them, but also when it's a child, their family. So, for example, the 7-year-old I'm working with at the moment, her mum said to me today, gosh, our family life has really calmed down since she's learned some of those self-regulation tools that you've been teaching us.
Wow.
She settles down and calms down before bed and there's not all this sort of jumping around and because she's quite an active kid.
Yep. Yep.
And she's not been waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and waking all us up. She's been sleeping through an extra hour.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
Small, really important steps in a young person's showing the family life is a lot calmer because everyone's practicing these tools and supporting her. And so that's, to me, that's the reward for me of doing what I do, being in business, and it's the benefit of me putting in the work with you in terms of getting my branding right, my strategy, and getting visibility out there in my community.
Yeah, absolutely. And that just working out the numbers there, that's nearly a 250% increase on the prior year. What an achievement. Well, and put a lot of hard work into getting it there, and it doesn't just happen on its own, does it?
It's not. It's not. So many people perhaps who haven't either worked in this particular niche that I work in was the people with the neurodiversities. It is a specialised niche, but a lot of people can give you a lot of opinions about how you can do your business better and differently. And often I come across as quite dismissive comments. Oh, you just need to do blah, blah, blah. To say to people, I don't want to hear you just need to.
It's not like that at all.
Sustainable strategies to work over the longer term and build a really solid presence for me in my communities here.
Absolutely.
And also more widely because I also do online work with people as well, but predominantly it's with my local community here in Kapiti in Wellington. So I'm seeing increasing numbers of inquiries from like a broader catchment now, which is really great as well.
Yeah, that's important.
That wouldn't have happened, I don't think, if I just stayed in my little safe domain. That space that I was occupying back in 2023.
Yeah. Was there a moment where things just clicked? Oh, this is bigger than I thought. Like realizing that, because recently you understood what we do here at Design Studio. What do you see now that you didn't before? How has the clarity changed the way you make decisions or show up?
I think one of the things is about building my authority. So I had worked in the adult education space before I specialised as a Davis Dyslexia facilitator. And I had expected that I'd be able to leverage off that expertise and that background in those communities. And for a host of reasons, that hasn't transpired. And so I've had to build the awareness about what I do and how I help people in new communities, such as with parents and grandparents who are looking for solutions for their children. I don't also have many connections with schools. I don't have children in schools or grandchildren in local schools. And so I haven't perhaps had those natural networks that many people could leverage off. So I've had to build my authority pretty much in the digital marketing space. social media. And one of the things we did, I think, this year was initiate building authority through LinkedIn, through those articles.
Absolutely.
They started out with small numbers viewing them, but they grew. And then we had this bright idea of sharing that material across onto Facebook.
All the platforms.
I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to offend anybody who's a Facebooker, but I did not think people on Facebook would read those articles.
Yeah. No.
And then we shared them there, and it went viral. And we had thousands and thousands of those articles, and we still do. I can go back 5 weeks, and people are
Still checking them out. That's right.
And now we've also popped them up onto my website, so they're there for people to see through a full of a blog. So it is about expanding people's awareness of conditions that I help people with.
Yeah.
But the solutions that I offer, because there's lots of conversation. I think when I look across social media, there's a lot of conversations about neurodiversity and advocacy and accommodations for people who are neurodivergent and articulating the different aspects of neurodiversity. And all of that awareness is fabulous, because when I was growing up, it wasn't even a word. Mostly you were just considered, if you had a learning challenge, it wasn't even called a challenge back then. It was
Disability. Yeah.
You were just plain dumb. You had a label. Yeah. And so the world has moved on, and I think,
Thank goodness.
and yeah, thank goodness. And all of that advocacy has really made a difference to people's awareness. The gap still is people understanding that these these different ways the brain works, these can be worked with to support people in what I say is mainstream schooling, and the way that literacy, particularly in maths, is delivered in schools.
Yeah.
And it's about getting awareness that there are solutions, those solutions really work, and that they make a lifetime of difference. And I think that message is still new and deserves a wider audience.
It certainly does. You're absolutely right. And authority is a very big part, as you say, and we really focus on that here at Design Studio, building the founder, the person behind the scenes of everything that's going on in their business, to be that authority and become that authority, and have that person be the go-to person to get help and advice around their difficulty in whatever field it is. Your field, many fields. It is absolutely imperative that we get that authority positioning, for sure. So how does your brand feel to you now compared to before? What difference has structure and clarity and support made to you behind the scenes? Do you feel more confident owning your space and your voice now?
Absolutely. I think I do a lot of work also in other spaces around advocacy with neurodiversity. So I'm part of a group that meets twice a month in the United States or North America, and my capacity to speak to the issues that people bring to that conversation, and to speak with authority, with expertise, with real life case examples, has just continued to increase because of the different activities you and I have come up with. Yes, me speaking into different forums, and me recording informational webinars and things like that, and hosting webinars. And so all of that experience has built my confidence and has had me think more clearly about what it is that I want to be saying in the world, what messages do I want to be amplifying, and what challenges do I want to be speaking to, the challenges people are facing, or perhaps even some of the more gritty political challenges that come in the education space. I used to shy away from them, so I don't want to have to deal with a lot of the negative comments and the negative narratives and things like that. And now I feel not quite bring it on. I really don't want to spend all my day dealing with that, but I'm much more confident to be able to go back to someone and say, thank you for your views, and this is what I know works for the people I've worked with. This is my expertise. This is my experience. Yeah. And people are welcome to their opinion. I can only speak from my experience and my observation of neurodivergent family.
So that it's all about building that trust and that loyalty and that building confidence with your future clients, that And being honest and upfront is also, the authenticity is absolutely key with any marketing, branding, whatever we do. And it's important that you show up as that authority in that field and whatever field you're in. And clearly, yes, there are some loopholes. And it's about, what I say, is talking about the elephant in the room. Not many people want to be out there and letting everyone be aware, because that awareness it's lacking. It's so lacking in your field that people need to know more and understand more that it's not a disability. It's absolutely, it's actually a gift that's sitting there to be managed.
I love it. Things come to mind with what you just said. So the first is the mother of the young girl I'm working with at the moment. She said to me today, she said, I'm having to reframe my thinking about my daughter's abilities. She said, I've got to the point where I thought maybe we shouldn't expect so much of her academically. She's brilliant at all the other things, but struggle because she's got dyslexia. And she said, the conversations we've had and the materials you've had me read have helped me reframe my thinking. And with also my husband's support, we're not backing off on standing for her having a great academic.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Which is just amazing from a parent, because how we listen and perceive our young people, they grow into that space. And so if we're viewing them as capable, able to succeed with all the abilities there, and they might need specific support in specific areas, but they are really competent, then they will rise into that, they will live into that space that we create for them. So that's one thing that sort of popped up when you were sharing. And then the other thing is that I met with a mother recently and her son, and they were considering working with me. And she remembers me, she came to a webinar I delivered, I don't know, 12 months. And when she mentioned that, I thought, oh yeah, I said, I remembered her name being on the list of attendees. But you don't know where people have seen you from. And
people watching.
It's real interesting. And so she's been following me and reaching out, and then finally we met. And the challenge, I think, is you need to be, like you were talking about the authenticity, you need to be the same person on your Facebook page as you are for a webinar, as you are on a one-on-one conversation, as you are when you meet in person.
Yes.
And so keeping that brand, if you like, because branding is not just about your logo or your letting.
Not all the pretty stuff. It's not all the pretty stuff.
All on who you
correct
in your profession. Be consistent.
That's it.
I get out and walk my dog quite a bit, and I run into people all the time, and I'm conscious. Often I'm in my walking gear, but I am still my brand.
Yes.
When I'm out walking my dog and people meet me, and now I carry my business cards. It's myself.
Every opportunity.
But like people watch. It's really interesting how much people watch who you are, whether you're at the supermarket or out walking the dog or out for dinner or.
Exactly.
And it's being that same person in all those places. Your gear might change, but you fundamentally are still that
still the same. That's right. And consistency is absolutely key. And we really work hard with our clients with consistency and authenticity. It's a really big ticket success. And so as we head into 2026, what are you most excited about for Master Dyslexia? What feels possible now that didn't before? And if you could talk to the version of you just starting out, what would you say?
I think there's, like, just practically, there's no way that I can quadruple my client base again. Not someone else to do in terms of the number of people that I work with.
Sure.
But what I am really excited about and really interested in is being able to do all of this with a lot more ease and grace, and perhaps just a little bit less hard work, so that there's a bit more flow to what's being done in terms of my marketing and branding. And also build out the other offerings that I do. So there's my one-on-one work, which is my bread and butter. But really, it's also offering courses that I teach and co-facilitate with my colleague. perhaps looking at some other products where people can engage, perhaps through an ebook or a recorded webinar or something like that. So I can reach more people at a different sort of level.
Yeah.
But also not have to be there in person at the time.
Having that evergreen kind of product in the back end is a really positive way to go with all businesses. It just gives you that expansion and the possibility of having that growth that you mentioned that may not ever happen again can happen in that area.
Yes, the growth really is in a little bit of diversifying
Absolutely.
services that I offer. But I also wanted to, in terms of, I have a commitment. There's never going to be enough time or resources that people can come and work with me individually. That's
no
feasible dream. But one of my commitments is that this work is available to people who need it. And I have a big commitment to supporting communities in Africa.
Yes, you do.
And a great success story has been a young maths tutor in Kakamega, Kenya, came to one of our free webinars 4 years ago now. And beautiful story. He borrowed someone's smartphone to attend on Zoom because he didn't have a computer and he didn't have a smartphone of his own. So he borrowed this smartphone and was there for 90 minutes and went away and applied what he learned with his young learners. One of his discoveries was his learners had dyslexia. He didn't really know about it before, but he started to understand it and started to be able to spot it and support those learners. He's now got to the point 4 years on where he's clear that after school tutoring and in the holidays isn't really doing enough for these young people. And he wants to start a kindergarten and then primary.
Wow.
He's found someone in his community who has some lovely classrooms. And so they've offered him a really good
that's exciting.
a really good rate to lease those classrooms. So he is starting his kindergarten. And my colleague and I, who have supported this journey, thought, how can we support him? Because he said it's going to take a year to get it sustainable in terms of parents paying kindergarten fees and things like that. We said, let's do something for Christmas. So we put a call out and we've raised over 2,000 Canadian dollars. One charity that we work with who helps us with fundraising, the Home Dyslexia Society of Canada. And over the Christmas period, we've been getting these donations coming through and being able to send the funds through to Jeffrey in Kenya. And that's for him such a big dream that
Fantastic.
way, way out there that we've been able to support to come true. It's been built on what he's learnt with us through our online classes over the last 4 years.
Wow. That must feel so good. That's so good too. Yeah.
And it's more than just the dyslexia or neurodiversity side of things. So one of his commitments is that, because he comes from communities where there's often a lot of, what can I say, a lack of understanding and awareness about neurodiversity and when children struggle. And so those children often experience negative inputs, even to the point of being punished for not being able to do what is expected of them. And he said that's not going to be the ethos of his kindergarten. They will resolve things through conversations and young students will be supported. So it's a big step he's taking in terms of shifting the cultural conversation in his community as well. So it's the education, but it's also the shifting those expectations. How young people are to be respected in classroom and treated. And
how beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah.
And so again, I guess what I've learned from you has helped us get that message out. We had donations coming in from all around the world.
Yeah.
And that's only been possible because my colleague Claire and I have a better understanding of social media and
what's doable.
What's doable and how to get that message out really widely in a way that's compelling for people. So, again, it's got that ripple effect beyond my everyday business to make that broader difference in the bigger world.
Exactly. So one word just before we wrap up here, one word to describe this whole journey with Design Studio.
Life-saving.
Beautiful.
I would not be here now. We had not taken all of the steps that we've taken along the way.
Beautiful. And it is a journey, isn't it? It takes time, and it's investing that time into yourself and the process and trusting the process, because it does work. And the results show that for you.
Yes.
And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you. And I'm really excited for the next step. The next stage is going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
Seeing it all evolve further. It's just an ongoing journey here with Design Studio, myself and my clients. Rachel, where can people find you and connect with Master Dyslexia?
They can find me on Facebook under Master Dyslexia, and also on LinkedIn under my profile, Rachel Barwell. But I also do have a profile there for Master Dyslexia, and on Instagram. So that's
They're all over there. And so that's great. And look, we'll have all of the links in this when we put it out in social media for everyone to connect with too. So thank you so much for sharing all of this, Rachel. And look, if you're interested in donating to the cause that Rachel just mentioned as well, we'll have the link there for that too. We'd love your contributions to get those beautiful people and souls where they need and deserve to be.
Thank you, Michelle.
This has been a wonderful conversation. And look, thank you so much, Rachel, for taking time out to have it with me, and looking forward to 2026 and your future successes.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks, Rachel. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks for spending time with me on Design Moments Conversations. I hope today reminded you that the smallest moments often create the biggest impact, because a brand isn't built in the big launches. It's built in the consistent, intentional experiences people remember. If you love this episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs it. Until next time, keep creating moments worth remembering.